Hi, it's Andrea Fawkes. It's the 2nd of December 2016. Wow, I think a lot of people are super excited that 2016 is coming to an end. It's been a year of great transformation, and all I can say is go inside yourselves. And I know that it's easy to say that if you don't know how to go inside yourself, and that's why a lot of people really need to reach out for help just now, because it's like you're being squeezed from outside to process stuff inside. And I totally have compassion with everybody, because I think literally everybody I know has maybe in really good shape themselves, but they're having to support, family members or close friends just now who are really struggling in these times. And the more inner journey we've done ourselves, the better place that we're in, we can support ourselves. But it's very hard to support other people if you're not truly grounded, anchored in a higher frequency yourself, and you haven't cleared your own stuff, because it will trigger you. You constantly keep getting triggered. I'm seeing it with so many clients right now. They're getting triggered, and then often what it is because those of you who know I do past life regression. I have tons of stuff out there, and I do it on a very deep level. And we go between past lives, we go between the wounded inner child, which is being in the wound, to present day. We go through ancestral timelines, and we go through entities that are hidden behind emotion and layers there. So there's many levels to this work, and galactic timelines as well is what I'm seeing as well. A lot of people's stress and anxiety, our stress and anxiety is being triggered from other timelines where there's not conflict resolution. So there's a version of you in this timeline often in conflict with another version of you in another timeline that has stress, fear, anxiety, negative emotion, and that manifests in the physical body now as anxiety. So I think a lot of people are struggling with anxiety and stress just now, because they're trying to resolve something out there that ultimately can only be resolved from going inside your emotional self. And then you're better able to deal with things that come at you. Like for example, the other day I felt such anxiety in my heart, such anxiety. And I was talking to a friend, and we just went into it, and it was stuff linked to Atlantis, the galactic timeline. It was a genetic issue with my ancestral timeline, which is being triggered, linked to my father's anxiety coming up now because he's helping his sister who's 93 and going through her transition, and how that's going about for her. And so we're clearing many layers of stuff, and the conscious self, I see it all the time, and I bless it, will help. But when you get obsessed with what you're eating to the point where you're kind of, this has this nutrient and I need B12. I mean, yeah, everybody needs B12, but I need D3, I need this, I need that. This, you can kind of assist that a lot by doing your emotional inner journey work on yourself. Because what happens is, I think a lot of people, I myself included, I really highly recommend colonics, because when we experience emotion, it gets stuck in our colon. Emotion gets stuck in our digestive system. We can't stomach things. We can't digest things. This is coming from the solar plexus. Often when I take people back to the source of the conflict with the solar plexus, we go back to the day when they gave their power away to somebody else, often to the primary carer, because then we're looking at the wounded inner child. And then, we look into past lives where there's conflict and anxiety. All anxiety that gets triggered in this lifetime from the wounded inner child is often linked to a past life where there's conflict, where there's been no resolution taken place, where some of you might organically see your past lives in dream times because you're slipping timelines, and not just even past lives, you might see this lifetime playing forward, but there are different probable reality outcome. There's no set in stone reality. So be careful going to Mystic Peg Psychics, because what they tend to do is give you one probable outcome, and it's a holographic universe. So there isn't one ultimate outcome. There are various potentials. There is one probable reality based on, say, where I am emotionally today. Say I didn't clear anything and I didn't do any further emotional inner journey work and I didn't change any belief system I had, then that reality would be a predictable outcome. It would be like Russian dolls stacked inside each other. But you do some emotional inner journey work on yourself, you change your belief system, you go into your emotional Akashic records, you clear another version of you, you release maybe some interdimensional entities or earthbound spirits if people have those, because most people do, most people do. And one of the biggest giveaways you can see that somebody has an entity is if you look at my face right now, it's pretty much, my eyes are pretty much symmetrical. When you look at somebody's face, okay, and it doesn't look symmetrical, it's like, one eye looks different than the other, unless they've had Botox, then it might be the Botox. But for the average person, when you've got one, nobody started out with a face lopsided, and they like to say it's because you sleep on one side and it squishes your face on the pillow. I don't think that's completely it. I think it's entities attached, because I see it where if you have one, it can sort of distort your eye. You can get a twitch in your eye, and the minute you clear it, your face becomes symmetrical again. You look lighter. I mean, that's the thing that I see with so many clients. They say, I feel lighter since we cleared all that emotional stuff. Who could have thought that was it? But the grief came up, the emotion came up, they cleared it, they let it go. However, you have to be willing to want to change yourself. You have to be willing to want to change your reality. You have to be willing to want to change your beliefs. I've seen people who, even a therapist, and they don't want to change their beliefs. They'd rather, some of them looked like they were going to die of a serious illness rather than change their beliefs. And that was truly sad when you're a therapist yourself. But they weren't prepared to look at the wounded inner child. And you get to the brick wall and you're like, you know what? Do I want to stay with this story, or do I truly want to heal myself? And that's, the question a lot of you, and myself included, don't worry, I'm on it 24/7 myself. I'm on it with myself all the time if anything pops up. And of course, new situations happen to us all the time, and we're having to go back to the beginning of time. There's a lady, I've watched a few of her videos, and she does make me laugh because she's really funny. And I like funny people. But everyone's trying to work out this Sumerian text, Enki, Enlil, Ninhursag, the Sitchin's version, Barbara Messiniak. I do love some of her stuff. She's got her version of that. So we're going back through all those timelines. Now, a couple of years ago, I had an experience with Marduk. I don't know if I mentioned this in another video. Anyway, there was an entity attached to me. I saw this energy. I didn't who Marduk was. I knew about Enki and Enlil, but I really somehow didn't know about Marduk. So anyway, this angry, ranting entity was saying that, the children of light would not enter the portal of Marduk. And I just found myself calmly saying, I embody myself. And that's what we all need to do. We need to embody ourselves as a living portal, because you're a living portal. That's what you are. You're a living stargate. You came from the stars through a woman's vagina, or hopefully, or not C-section, but, kind of. Anyway, and then, you need the wave compression to come through the birth canal, because that grounds you for Earth. So, if you didn't come through the birth canal, you need to kind of have this kind of wave compression come over your body to earth you for this planet. And craniosacral work would help you as well. So just park that what I'm saying. So anyway, you come here from the stars. So I have this experience with this entity. So this entity's raging and shouting, the children of light will not enter the portal of Marduk. And I'm saying, well, I embody myself as a living goddess to the portal of Marduk, and the children of light will enter the portal of Marduk. Portal, Stargate, I don't know. But anyway, I embodied myself as that, and something shifted and this energy went, and that was it. You know, felt much better afterwards. So, you know, we all have to be doing this work on ourselves, no matter how far-fetched it might seem to you, because the truth has been hidden from you in the history books. The truth is only encoded in your soul DNA. The more inner work you do, the more your DNA expands and it's not shut down. You know, I think I said in my last video, you know, DNA, they say, the scientists say, is 173 centimeters long, 3 centimeters has encoding on, but that's nonsense because, you know, many of us are encoding our stuff and we're expanding DNA now really quickly. That's why we have more intuitive gifts and skills and things we can do, and that's why I can read the emotional Akashic records of all timelines of existence and galactic timelines, because I can do that. That's how it is, you know, and I have to keep in tip-top form. I have to keep working on myself, and that's the same with all of us. If we want to help the rest of the world, you really have to help yourself. And although we are assisting our families at this time, who, you know, some of them don't even listen to a word we say, or they maybe listen to 5% of what we say, and we just have to accept that that's what it is. You know, they've been zapped by the programming, and I don't know what's going to trigger them to get out of it, but they might not do it in this physical body. And they might be staying in the third dimensional reality, but we're going into a multi-dimensional reality, and you have to choose saving yourself, and you have to choose going inward. And I appreciate it's more challenging maybe for some of you if your time is at a premium, like you've got kids and you've still got a regular 9-to-5 job. You might want to look at how you can modify that, because if you've got too many other responsibilities, it's pretty tricky to go inside yourself. And you have to look at the truth. You did create that reality, hard as it might seem to be to own that. You chose that. And if you chose that and you don't like what you chose, the only way you're going to find alleviation from the stress and anxiety and the overwhelming burden of what you've created is to go inside yourself and heal yourself. And so in the free time that you do have, it's a choice with what you choose to do with that free time. It's a choice with what we choose to spend our money on, and it's a choice to open up to greater abundance. And you know, it's tough. Don't get me wrong. I've been through very painful, very challenging times in my life to expand my consciousness, to be able to stand here now and say, okay, I can see more modifying and changing of things that I'm going to be doing in 2017. You know, I created a good reality for the last 3 or 4 years to sit here, you know, in Avalon and to have this time to go inward. Yes, of course, even I got distracted. I love Facebook, but I get distracted by Facebook. And there's good things and there's bad things. But we have to discern what is good, what is bad, and use our time in the greatest love to ourselves. I have tons of other videos. I don't even know what I've said in this video. Sometimes I think, I don't know if I've said anything of, you know, the greatest value. Like I said, it's the 2nd of December now. I'm going to be in the north of England the 4th, 5th and 6th and possibly 7th of December. I'm open to seeing one-to-one clients for, these are the regression sessions. These are the 2-hour regression sessions. Remember, what I do on Skype is read the emotional Akashic records, where you have to kind of drop into your emotional self. What I do in person is actually regression into past lives, into, you know, the fragmented inner child, into ancestral issues, clearing entities. I speak soul light language as well. So we'll work with all that in person. So if you want to see past lives in more detail, I would do regression in person. And if you're not used to dropping into your emotional self, maybe come and do regression in person, but maybe try out a Skype session, see how that works. And I do feel in 2017 I will be doing more workshops. I feel I'm going to be in Madeira on, my plan is to be there from the 12th to the 17th of December. There's a powerful Stargate portal on the planet. That's another thing. A lot of us, we work with Stargate portals on the planet. We go there, we activate the earth grids, we do sounding, and we take crystals, or we work with groups. I have a group energy of people that I work with, that we go to places, or we tune in over the phone, and we do light language activations together for the collective grid consciousness. We're working on many dimensions. These are beautiful light beings that I work with that are in physical incarnation now. They maybe don't make videos so much, but you know, they're out there doing the work, and I'm sure some of you are, you know, out there doing Earth Grid Keeper work. But to do that, you really need to work on yourself. You know, Gaia, Mother Earth, doesn't need you putting fear and anxiety into the Earth Grid. So really be in a beautiful heart space yourself when you do that grid work. And many blessings, much love. I'm going to the gym in a minute, because I just rejoined the gym, and I think we need to do that. And I'm going out in the rainbow wellies. I mean, that's another thing, you know. I never dreamed that my life would end up a segment of it where I'd be living in the wilderness, where it's not that wild, but you kind of have to have wellies where I live now. I just, you know, you never know what's going to happen next. You know, I love my life in flip-flops when I'm in warm countries, but the truth is there are times in my life that I live in wellies, and quite frankly, I prefer the welly life than the high heel life. I just, you know, I just don't want to do that anymore. And that's the other thing. We're surrendering the other versions of ourselves that we used to be. You know, I just can't live that every day anymore. And we have to honor who we've been, and honor that, own it, let it go for who we're going to become, because we don't know who we're going to become. But I tell you one thing, if you go with the higher vibrational version of you, and you merge with your higher self and your multidimensional self, you're going to radiate light, and you're going to feel that everything will get easier to deal with. Everything will become more effortless as we go through that transformation. So much love, and yeah, check out my website for dates. I'm going to be making a new website very soon. I say very soon because I hoped it would be before the end of this year, but you know, due to family situations, I just haven't focused on that. But all is divine, all is fine. You know, love yourselves, honor yourselves, do what you need to do to show up for yourself. And so I'm not going to sing high-pitched light language. I'm just going to speak a light language to our souls. So you might want to close your eyes or just breathe this language in. It's just words. It's not going to go high pitch. It's just breathe this language in and anchor it into your heart. Ikamoyana kamakayase ichumukuya. I omokoyana kamakaya. I omokusa kamakaya. I omokuyana kamakukuya. I omokuyana kamakaya. Iu lalamuku. Iu lalamaku. Ionu kuyana kamakukuya. I omokusa kamakaya kiana kukuya. I onono mokusa kamakaya. Io no kuya makayana kiana ayamukuya. Ino kusamakaya kiana. Io no kuya kiana kukuya. I omukusa chamakiana.